Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game by Matt Forbeck, created officially by Marvel. That's really huge. And I want to talk about how it massively exceeds Dungeons & Dragons in a really incredibly significant way, which is pretty shocking and was not expected in any way by anyone before 2023. And here we are. It's Marvel Multiverse RPG has defeated Dungeons & Dragons in a very distinct way. Now, I want to be clear. Dungeons & Dragons is still the preeminent experience you can experience with a tabletop role-playing game product. Right? D&D is still number one outside of this barrier. What is the barrier? Marvel Multiverse RPG is a massively if you buy the Marvel Multiverse RPG core rulebook, you have a better set of rules that you will find in the Dungeons & Dragons PHB, MM, and Dungeon Master Guide. That's a bold statement, I know. Let me back it up. All right, so why do I say this? Scott, what are you talking about? You're saying that somebody made something distinctly better than Dungeons & Dragons? Yeah, I am. It's a better rules system. Why? Well, first of all, it's pretty astounding. So, one, I think from the commercial side, from the creator side, from the suit side, this was a happy accident. They didn't know what they were doing. Matt Forbeck knew exactly what he was doing, right? So basically, when they created a game that would run everything on Earth 616, they created a game that would need to be able to handle all magic users, all fighters, all princesses, every single major adventure icon archetype would need to be covered, because you are going back 71, 81, 91, 2001, 2011, 2021. I'm sorry, 60 to 2020. It is 62 years old. Okay, 6 decades of awesome, right? And in order to be able to run 6 decades of 1,000+ characters with every single power set you would ever imagine, what Matt Forbeck did is he created a Dungeons & Dragons GURPS, right? So Dungeons & Dragons has always said, hey, you can run anything with this, right? But many people come in and say, can you? Right? And there are limitations. They have really focused on keeping it tight to fantasy, right? And there was never a need to make anything runnable through D&D, and so it wasn't focused on, right? But Matt Forbeck had the real task of making anything runnable with this rule set, right? Now, how on earth is one guy able to surpass Gary Gygax? Because he worked with him. He saw everything he did. He learned everything there was to learn. And then he he lived longer, right? So Matt Forbeck got all of Gary Gygax's juice back in the 80s and the 90s, got all his energy, got the wisdom, got mentored by him, right? And then perfected his craft for 40 more years, right? We are looking at something truly, 40 years, yes, 40 years. This is incredible, right? And so, it is truly astounding what's happened, right? And so, because of the demands of Earth 616, Matt Forbeck had to really do what Dungeons & Dragons claimed it could, right? Now, why is it distinctly, massively better than Dungeons & Dragons? Well, Dungeons & Dragons can do everything that Marvel Multiverse RPG can do, but it does it with way more complexity and way more content. And that means less people can run it, right? The only people who can do with Dungeons & Dragons what you can do with the Marvel Multiverse RPG, which is literally run any type of story. That requires a minimum of 750 pages of reading, where this is half that amount. It's half. So he did it in half the page count and much, much less complexity, right? And one of the ways he dealt with getting rid of complexity is he abandoned the polyhedrals, right? And he stayed with a 3d6, which is wild. The dice system for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game not only honors, right, Marvel fully with a 616 system, it's actually a 3d6 system, which is literally what you roll to make every character in Dungeons and Dragons. And not if you suck, right? Man, I despise people who choose stat block. If you are choosing point buy, you suck. You suck. Get good. Abandon your poor life choices, right? Like, 3d6 is how you create a character, and Matt Forbeck's is saying it, right? It's incredible, but that's where we land. That is where we land, right? Like it is. I don't like saying it. I don't like saying Matt Forbeck wrote a better rule system than Dungeons and Dragons, but he did. It does more with way less content and way less complexity. And when you cut content and complexity in half, but double or triple what can be done, you get the crown, right? Matt Forbeck defeated Gary Gygax in this one area, just creating incredible rules that really rock and are transformational and amazing. And I do not, you know me, I do not like giving ground against Dungeons and Dragons, but what do I love more than Dungeons and Dragons? Intellectual honesty. And I think if we're being intellectually honest, this thing's incredible. It is truly astoundingly amazing. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.